If you've been on Spotify, I'm sure you've seen artists dropping sped up and slow down versions of their song. So if you're an artist, I'm gonna explain to you why you should be doing this too. So I'm going to start this off with a little bit of a story because I remember very specifically the moment that this whole sped up, slowed down version thing clicked for me. I remember it very clearly, and it was about 2-3 years ago, just after COVID, and we were at a family get together, and it was a huge number of people, and essentially there were a bunch of adults and kids, and one of my so-called nieces, I suppose, who was about 11 years old, came up to me and she was showing me all these TikToks that she had been making, hundreds and hundreds of TikToks, and showing me like all of the music that she likes to use for these videos. And that's when it, I started getting curious. So I asked her, why did you choose that song? Do you not like this song? And she started off by saying, no, that song's too slow to slow down. And that's when the first red flag really started popping up. I'm like, oh, interesting. What about this song? And then she said for another song she's like, I don't like that artist's music and his songs in general because they're too fast to speed up. So I asked her, then why do you like the songs and why do you choose the songs that you choose for your videos? And she said, because they're the best songs that you can play with. And that's when it all clicked, and I realized in an age, in a world where kids are being raised on iPads and tablets and phones, and then they're in this digital virtual world, their version of Play-Doh and PlayStation and Sega Mega Drive and the Rubik's Cube is TikTok. And that's literally what they play with. They literally are speeding up, slowing down, morphing, and virtually playing with a song. And it made me realize that they're just toys. These sped up and slowed down versions are just toys for people to use to make their own content with. I realized that this is something I have to make as a staple part of my deliveries with my masters, because there are so many songs that have gone viral that were the sped up or slow down versions, and labels realize that if the user version of the song is going viral, you're not able to monetize that. It's a whole other version that you essentially have to chase. But if you take the lead and you get ahead of that and you upload the sped up and slowed down version yourself, if one of those versions goes viral and people start playing with it and start using it like a toy that they wanted to make, and now you make it available for them, you're pulling all of that in. And it's amazing thing to watch, because the sped up and slowed down versions are literally adding 50 to 75% more streams to their songs. And I think when people look at Spotify and you see your monthly listeners, people just automatically assume that like, I have to have a new song every single month. You don't. You just need a new release every single month. So if you want to release the sped up version a week later, a slowed down version 2 weeks later, the instrumental version 3 weeks later, if you can literally give the audience a different experience of the same song as many times as possible, you're increasing the number of releases that you have per month, which will ultimately improve the number of listeners that you have per month. You then are totally fine with any version of the song going viral, because you've put it there and you've given the song the best chance of doing that. And it all started with labels trying to get ahead of the curve and trying to take, the lead, going like, listen, we're not gonna wait for the users on TikTok to make it a thing, because then we can't control that. And to be honest, one of the biggest songs in the last couple of years, Sabrina Carpenter's Espresso, has so many versions of that song. If you guys go onto Spotify and just scroll through, you'll see so many different versions of the song. There's like a slowed down version. I think they called it the decaffeinated version. They got a bit creative with it. And I think the double espresso shot version, or whatever it is, the sped up version of it. I know it seems very commercial and it seems very corporate, but at the end of the day, that's just the time that we're in. I mean, there's a reason why, when we were younger, we wanted to collect all the different Pokemon and all the different, G.I. Joes, whatever it was. I was into TMNT, but yeah, I wanted to collect every single type of turtle and every type of outfit. And I even know a couple of artists that in advance think about like, hey, listen, maybe I should slow down the song because it sounds really good sped up. Maybe it's too fast to be sped up. And that's something you can keep in mind, especially if it's the sake of like 2-3 BPM and it's not really gonna affect you, but it helps with it sped up, then go for it. And like I said, I have literally made this a staple of all of my deliveries on all of the masters that go out to all of the artists, because you don't know what version of it could blow up, and it takes 3 extra minutes to export all these different versions, and it could literally change your life. Honestly, if you're an engineer, producer, add it to your delivery list. You're gonna make your artists' lives way easier. And if you're an artist, you have to demand this from the person delivering your master. Say, I need a sped up and slowed down version. I'm actually gonna upload another video just to make it super easy for anyone to follow how to export the sped up and slowed down versions if you already have a song out, or if you're about to receive the final mix and master for a song in the next while. It's very, very simple. It's it's like stupid easy to do. If you have any questions about why or how or what, feel free to ask in the comments below. But guys, upload alternative versions. It's gonna help you, trust me.